Today I am going to show you a development that most people right now have completely missed. Current data shows that more people are actively searching for properties today in Dubai than before the war. And that raises one key question. What is really driving this behavior? I will take you through the numbers from Bayut and some others in Dubai, and we will look together at what is behind these increase, how to read it correctly, and how it can help you to make your own decisions. Once you understand this, you will suddenly see the market from a completely different point of view. Welcome, my name is Eugene Zimbelman from Dubai Finance. I help investors successfully invest in real estate in Dubai by finding the right property as an investor, Dubai Land Department certified property valuer and mortgage specialist. Let's start with what most people currently believe. Many people think that since Iran's attack on the UAE on 28th of February of this year, interest in Dubai real estate has collapsed. Suddenly nobody wants to invest anymore. The market is on the floor. Dubai is finished. This narrative is spreading everywhere right now, on social media, in comment sections, in conversations. And I understand where it comes from. Headlines sell better with drama than with data. But here's the problem. This assumption is simply wrong, and I can prove it. Bayut is one of the largest real estate platforms in Dubai. They analyzed internally what happened to the search volume on their platform after the war started, tracked day by day. What you can see is the direct comparison. On the first day of the conflict, active users on the platform dropped to about 80% of the normal level, a drop of 20%. That is a completely normal reaction. People get nervous, pause, and observe first. We see this with every geopolitical event. But what matters is what happened after that. On day 40, after the war began, search volume sits at 105% of the average of 2026. It is not just recovered, it is exceeded it. More people are actively searching for properties in Dubai than before the war. These are not forecasts, not opinions. These are platform data from Bayut itself. And did you know that Bayut actually published these numbers? Hardly anyone noticed. As far as I have followed, no international media picked this up. And yet, this one chart tells you more about the actual state of the market than 100 opinion articles. Now one could say, okay, one platform, maybe a special case. So I looked further. I analyzed Google Trends, especially for the keyword Dubai real estate, across 3 different areas: regular web search, news, and YouTube. The time period, the last 3 months, directly before and after February 28th. The result is clear. In the news section, there was a massive spike on March 1st. The value shoot up to 100, the maximum. Logical, because the topic was all over the media. But look at the regular web search. The average before the conflict was around 50. Then there was also a strong jump and almost a twofold increase in the first days of March, after which search volume settled above pre-war levels. It was only when the ceasefire was announced that interest dropped again. But that is not a structural collapse. Interest remains high. And YouTube? On YouTube, interest in Dubai real estate held up strongly after the conflict. There was no spike as sharp as in Google Search or Google News. But here too, we see rising interest around 3 weeks after the war began. Many people think war means disinterest. But in reality, the demand for information rises. People want to understand what is happening. They actively search for insights, for analysis, for orientation. And that is exactly what you can see in the YouTube data. So 4 independent data sets, Bayut, Google Search, News, and YouTube, all show the same thing. Interest in the Dubai real estate market is stable and rising, not despite the conflict, but in the certain sense also because of it. Now, I have added a 5th data source, SimilarWeb. This is a tool that analyzes daily visitor numbers for websites. I looked at this traffic on the two largest real estate platforms in Dubai, Bayut and Property Finder, for the period from January through of the end of March. April data is not yet fully available, but the trend is still clearly readable. So what you can see in the chart, the average daily traffic on both the platforms moves between 150 to 225,000 visits per day per platform. Yes, there are day-to-day changes. That is normal for any website. But there's a structural collapse. No crash after February 28th. No lasting decline. Bayut comes in at almost 4.5 million monthly visitors over the full period. Property Finder at just under 3.9 million. These are not numbers from a platform experiencing panic selling or disinterest. Something many people ask me is, how can that be? Surely the market must have crashed. And the answer is actually quite simple once you stop treating headlines as reality. People who are seriously thinking about a property investment do not react to events the way a day trader reacts to a price drop of the stock market. They observe, they analyze, and in many cases they recognize in times of uncertainty exactly what experienced investors describe again and again: an opportunity. And did you know that Peter Lynch, the man who managed the Magellan Fund at Fidelity for 13 years with an average return of 29% per year, making him one of the most successful fund managers in history, once said, "Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves. Anyone waiting until all the headlines turn positive again is waiting too long." And that is exactly what we are seeing in the data right now. On one side, there are nervous sellers who are reacting to headlines and are ready to let go of properties at a discount. On the other side, they stand calm, analytical investors who do not read the market from the news, but from the numbers. And these investors are currently looking very carefully at what is available to buy in Dubai right now. What has changed is not the demand itself, which, as we have seen, is largely stable. What has changed is the behavior of the supply side. And that is creating opportunities that simply did not exist in this form before February 28. Many people don't know that in a market phase like this, actual transaction prices come under pressure. Not because demand is missing, but because sellers are willing to give ground. What this means in practice? Those who buy now with a clear head are in many cases buying cheaper than 3 months ago. In a market, those fundamentals have not changed. And if this kind of analysis interests you and you want to understand how to systematically take advantage of times like this, then subscribe now to my channel Dubai Finance, if you haven't already. I regularly publish market analysis, data and insights that you won't find on other channels here on YouTube. And now back to the core point. What does all of this mean for you as an investor or potential buyer? It means the market is still liquid. The demand exists, and those who act in these phases do so based on knowledge, not from gut feeling. That is exactly the difference between investors who are successfully long-term and those who always arrive one moment too late. Some read the data, others read the news. I work every day with investors who are actively moving right now. Our clients are making very attractive purchases and taking advantage of the opportunities in the Dubai real estate market. Not because they are ignoring the risk, but because they understand them and can put them in the bigger picture. Because we tell them clearly where the best deals in the markets are right now, which areas of Dubai have long-term staying power, and they get access to our network. And where these sellers are currently under pressure they don't need to be under, but are anyway. As an independent property valuer and mortgage specialist, I don't see the market through the eyes of an agent who needs a commission. I see it through the eyes of an investor who is personally invested and who knows what the numbers really mean. And if you now want to understand which strategy makes sense for you personally, which properties currently have real potential, and what a mortgage structure could look like in this market phase, then go now to www.dubai-finance.com and book a free initial first call. We will look together at how you can make the most of this phase for yourself. The link is in the description as well.